Hello guys, welcome back to yet another episode from the BdoubleO Patreon server. We're just gonna give Hobo here some of his gold and even gonna get paid pretty good for that. So sorry, I don't talk a lot while I also have to type. It's too confusing. At least I can say what I type, but I don't think that's necessary. We just got paid, and that's just for a little bit of gold. I think they're working on a sorting system that is basically all our gold, except for like the 14 gold nuggets, which I figured I'd better not throw at him. I didn't need 64 diamonds for that, and didn't, ask for that. But I think that's the rate they're giving. Somehow they've got like a ton of diamonds. I think Hobo, if you saw the Epic Caving episode, knows how to find those like crazy. And I was just running out. I'm actually running out of most resources, including completely out of gold now. Iron is also running low. That's just because I've been spending most of my time building. Talking about building, we'll take a close look at this in just a moment. And I've been able to get some resources, most resources from the staging area, but obviously not the ones, the super valuable ones. They did have a large amount of iron at some point, but then that went somewhere at some point and never came back. Let's see, what could I need to ditch all this half broken equipment and actually do something useful with it at some point. You didn't see that. Let's just take the coal out. I guess the coal is unnecessary. I like to have the minecart in there just because I need a minecart to come to the Mesa outpost, and I've nether chest in the area always, but it's a huge pain to have to travel that distance without it. Even with minecart, it takes quite a while. I just did it because actually that's where I did my most recent caving and where I have most of my gold, at least as far as I could find. So what do we have here? It's the Adventurous Gold. I think I mentioned it yesterday, although of course, or yesterday, 2 days ago. Of course, I wasn't completely. Basically hadn't started it yet. I just outlined it a little bit, and I wasn't sure what to do. I was a bit stuck. It's still not finished, obviously. Like this is just huge cobble wall and stuff, but just I think we got a lot. I got a lot done today. And I think it looks good. The roof is very bell-shaped. Let's see. Let's get up here. Snow blocks just lying around. I wonder if that's Enderman's doing. Very bell-shaped this and a bit flat, but I kind of like it. Of course, it's slightly broader on the outside, on the middle section basically than this on the bottom section. And the thing I was stuck with most when I was trying to build this was I tried to build this out of wood, and basically I had to pick a different thing than spruce. Because spruce it's already the floor, so I couldn't pick it. And dark oak was a bit too dark to have as main color for this. I felt oak I just hate, and most of the time, not always, but most of the time. And birch is way too light. So I looked around and I realized that actually, because I didn't want to just only build off brick, because I felt like it didn't fit the style very much. Like this building is already completely brick, and it gives it a very steampunk industrial feel, all in all, kinda. So I wanted to do more wood, and I walked around and I found out that almost everyone has a stone base for their buildings, and I think that is, lore-wise, I think that has to do with keeping the cold out or the heat in or something along those lines. So yeah, let's just take a look. I've just been walking around this a little bit, trying to tell my story. I do like where it's going. Of course, it's like I already said, it's not finished, but there is one other thing I did today, also for this build, and it just took me so much longer than I expected it would take me, because I have no experience using this item. And maybe you can already guess what it is based on that. The tower is complete, I think. The top of it. I like the roof. We should take a quick look and then go in. I'm just keeping you in suspense with what the item is that just took me so long. If you haven't guessed it, if you have guessed it, I like the design. It's just a little bit more Nordic than what we're used to. from my roofs. Basically, my entire building is the same as I always do, except for the roof, which is slightly more slanted. This is a little bit more different, a little bit more experimental, and I just went to placing some blocks. I did want to have like I didn't want to have like this side be like the front and have the same in the back, and it's just flat on the side. So I went with. I also think it would have given a very large roof for the tower. And I think this fits it very well. Also, it gives it just a little bit more of a Nordic feel than the roofs I normally do, in my opinion, just because they're slightly more curvy, triangle-y, whatever it is exactly that makes the roof Nordic. So yeah, let's go in. And you should have already spotted that the item I struggled with was this map. It's a big map, so at least you know I've got that going. This one isn't placed correctly. I've got that going for me to kind of excuse me from not being able to work this out very well. Let's just say hi to Skin. I'm sure I've already missed people, but you know, gotta be as friendly as possible with as many people as possible. And Skin, of course, we did the application with. So, you know, we know each other just a little bit better than I know Tim. Though nothing against him, I'm sure. He's a lovely guy, and I'm sure we'll get to meet him a little bit more at some point. So yeah, about the map, of course, there's a spawn map, and that's partly why it was extremely confusing, because the spawn map, or the staging area over here, the map is actually flipped to make it look like this is the north. It's all just flipped 90 degrees, I think, yeah, 90. And it makes it really confusing. It's already a puzzle if you have all those pieces, and then it makes it especially confusing. I copied the map, by the way, which I think also works differently than making a new map. Like some pieces are in here are new, because the copy maps function a bit weirdly, because I don't understand maps truly, probably. Yeah, it was flipped, and I think some part of it was even placed wrong. Like there was a part that was supposed to go here or something, but it was like placed over here, or maybe I did that while copying incorrectly and placing the back, I don't know. But I got incredibly confused, and I had to go around. Basically this area, these two maps existed, but they were never used, because the map at the staging area actually only starts here. And I just took those and I went around this whole outline. This map already existed, and I don't think this one did yet. Then I renewed a couple of maps, which I think doesn't work with copies or something, so I had to make new maps for basically the most stuff around my area especially. And that's kind of where we stuck with that. It's a huge map, but I do think it fits the Adventurers Guild, and of course it makes this area just a little bit more suitable to be a staging area. We're still lacking a lot of furnaces. The only ones we have are over there right now. Originally I wanted to put in the furnaces here as well, make like a bar or something, but I don't think that's gonna work as long as this is here. What we did manage to fit in here, of course there is still room, so maybe we'll figure something out. I also want to make like a furnace. Could you possibly light furnaces, like with flint and steel? If so, I could make like a huge fire in the middle area, in the middle section over there, which I kind of wanted to do anyway, but there's like all kinds of signs now for messaging. I could do that, and if I could set them on fire and then place furnaces in there, or is some other way incorporate them, maybe on the sides or something, I think it could still work. We could have furnaces in there. Of course, it wouldn't be like the hopper furnaces situation we've got going on over there, but yeah, we can't move everything over here. Like the farms are not going to be moved over here either. So basically, hey, this is where I left my workbench. I lost it for a moment. It's not completely finished. I still need to work out the situation for the glowstone lamps here. I don't think it will be too complicated, but I should remember to do that. Fully functional. I don't think I have anything to enchant here. I'm not going to make anything. Goes to level 30. 15 of the bookshelves around it. Basically, our tower is exclusively enchanting. That's how it's how I told out the ratios, the width and the length of it as well. I had a couple of options of how to place the bookshelves around it. Went with this. because I left because it would leave me one window open completely, and it's actually the window without, you know. I'm not sure if I don't think you can make him 3 high and have it still work. And the window I decided to leave open is of course the one that looks out over my own area, just because, you know, I want a good view of my stuff as well. And I think that's basically it for what we have been doing. We'll just take one more final look from like just a different angle than what we're used to. And it's of course night, but it doesn't look to seem to be very bad out today. And I really like it's starting to tie the area in. You know, it's starting to look more like a busy harbor district. Next we have a building up over here and over here, and then of course close it out over here, or maybe continue, or maybe, you know, have like a half closure here that makes it visually look like it's closed, but it actually goes on. I think that would be really good if you have the time for that, if you stick with this project for that long. But I really like how it's how you're really starting to get the feel of how it's a busy harbor kind of area. Of course not finished, but I feel like the atmosphere is coming along pretty nicely. You have to be a bit careful not to get snuck up on by a creeper while I'm doing this. I think this is the last view I'll give you guys, just as it dawns. I like taking screenshots while it's dawning. I just like I think I've explained this, I won't go into that again. So yeah guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next one, and bye bye.